This show is brought to you by PivX Private Instant Verified Transactions. With its groundbreaking zero-coin staking and masternodes, PivX is the top privacy currency. Feel free to trade some on Binance or Bittrex. And for more information, go to www.pivex.org. Hello, this is ITK Crypto, part of SmartReach, and it's time for our news roundup of the week with me, Tom White, and as ever with Cryptosi, and as ever again, Cryptosi. There's lots to get into.
Yep, let's get cracking, Tommy.
Well, the first one, I tell you what, I'll run through the three topics we're going to go into today. There's been a huge hack at a massive crypto exchange. We'll do that one first. There's also, there's always good news and bad news. That one's surely bad news. But the good news for crypto adoption is that you can now buy Bitcoin at Coinstar kiosks, all right? So we'll go into that because it's not quite as good as it might sound, first of all. And then a big story going on about some scams going on in the world of cryptocurrency. We're going to be asking, we're going to give an example or two and then asking why it's happening and why people are falling for it. But first of all, Cryptosi, the top story certainly. Tell us about this huge hack at a massive crypto exchange, like I said.
Okay, all right. So the bad news is, well, I shouldn't say it like that because there is no good news to follow this up. But the bad news is that the exchange in question is called Cryptopia. Now, Cryptopia is more than likely, to my mind, the biggest and longest standing of the crypto exchanges for altcoins. Now, altcoins are the alternatives to Bitcoin. So your coins like Litecoin, Ethereum, Dash, but also smaller coins like PivX and really tiny projects like Neutron. We're talking projects which have only got a market cap in the hundreds of thousands, so maybe like 200,000 market cap. So these are really quite tiny projects in comparison. And Cryptopia was their main breeding ground, I would say. Out of all the exchanges, Cryptopia were known to have the fairest listing fees, so it didn't cost all these small projects an arm and a leg to get on there. So they were really quite loved by the crypto community on one hand. On the other hand, their user interface was not the greatest, so some people had problems with them and they got some stick for their support not being that good either. But in terms of crypto adoption, they were a really good thing because I'm speaking about them in the past tense. But I'll move on. And what happened was they got their ERC20 wallet hacked somehow. So somehow these hackers have hacked into their ERC20 wallet, and it looks like from the small bits of information that have been leaked out, not only did they move all of the Ethereum that they had on the exchange, but all of the Ethereum related projects as well. So all the projects that were built on top of Ethereum, which were all stored in the same hot wallet, which is a hot wallet is the name of a wallet that's connected to the internet at all times. All of those coins were also moved off the exchange. There is a lot of value that has been stolen from the Cryptopia exchange. The worst news is that Cryptopia themselves are not releasing much information. They're not saying that funds other than the Ethereum funds are safe. They're not saying anything like that. There's two schools of thought. One school of thought is they're going to offset their own losses by kind of selling other people's crypto which was on the platform, which is I don't know, that's quite a bad thing. And they haven't let anybody know exactly what they're doing, which is also bad. The one small ray of sunshine is that apparently, I don't know how true this is, but apparently some of the funds were moved to Binance, which is another huge exchange, probably the biggest. And Binance have said that they will not allow those funds to be sold or traded. That Binance have literally just frozen them and are just holding them. I don't know exactly how much of the hack has been held by Binance. All of the information is really sketchy at the moment, and Cryptopia have said they've just handed it over to law enforcement, which is never, ever, ever a good sign in crypto.
Well, it was interesting what you said there about Binance holding it all. Does that mean that they might be able, there might be some sort of trail as to who is responsible for this?
Well, yes, I guess so. There may be a trail to who is responsible, but To be honest with you, in these situations, 95% of the time, people don't really care who is responsible. They just want to know that their funds are safe.
And at the moment, these funds, as you're explaining it, there's every chance that these funds will not go back to the people they should be holding them.
Yeah, there is every chance that that will happen. There is every chance that that will happen. There's a chance that, let's say, for example, Cryptopia have lost $5 million worth of Ethereum, but they're currently holding of other people's maybe 6 million. They may take the other people's 6 to pay off the 5, or try to maybe equal out the losses so that everybody loses a little bit, regardless of whether you held Ethereum in there or not. There is a precedent for that having happened before. I'm not sure if it was Bitfinex, but there was an exchange where that happened before, and they kind of offset people's losses by spreading the loss amongst all the users, and then over time paying the users back. Now, I'm not sure if Cryptopia are planning to use that model, but at the moment, it kind of looks like they are.
Okay, right. Well, that is definitely worrying news, and like I say, there's more worrying news to come on this ITK crypto. So we'll move on to the second story instead than Cryptosi, because this is actually good news. Okay, I've got an article here that I've been reading, and the headline is "Good News for Crypto Adoption. You can buy Bitcoin at Coinstar kiosk." Now, I think we all know what a Coinstar kiosk is. We've seen one before, but I'll just read some of this article just to give some background to the news. Like Coinstar, the company known for its coin counting machines found in malls and supermarkets, has announced a partnership with Bitcoin ATM operator CoinMe to enable Bitcoin buying for cash at its kiosks across the US. All right, I'll read the next paragraph because it's there's a bit of a caveat to it. Coinstar owns more than 20,000 coin counting machines in 9 countries around the world, but Bitcoin purchases will only be available at selected kiosks and only in the USA for now. All right, which is a start, I suppose. Further purchases can only be made with US dollar bills in any amount up to $2,500 for each 24-hour period. Coins and foreign currency are not accepted at this time, according to a statement published by Coinstar. So this has come, from Coinstar. So it's genuine news. This now, what does it mean? And is it right for this headline to say good news?
I would say, yeah, I would say it definitely is good news. I think it's interesting that it's only available in the US, which is a pain for us in the UK and for other people around the world, because I truly do believe that this is quite good news. Generally, when you take your coins, I do mine around Christmas time at the end of the year. I have quite a substantial amount of money in 1 and 2 pences. So
yeah,
I think being able to convert that into crypto, Bitcoin in particular, and hopefully in time, maybe some other forms of crypto, I think is a pretty good thing. The only thing I'm worried about there slightly is hearing that they only allow you to convert 2,500 within a 24-hour period, which kind of screams to me that they're going to have to do some sort of KYC or AML to make sure that they know who you are when you're converting your coins. That's the only thing that, to me, doesn't sit that well with me. I think you should be able to convert your coins into Bitcoin without anybody taking your details down. But in the whole, yeah, I think that is great news. And just to clarify, because we have Coinstar machines here, they are the machines where you put in loads and loads of small change and it will convert it for you into notes.
Yeah, because we've got them.
an IOU.
We've got them over here. I just don't think they're called Coinstar. I think it's the same thing. But are they called Coinstar over here?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we know what they are, though. We know what they are.
Yeah. But to be fair, it's not the type of thing that you kind of look for a brand and you're like, oh, this brand is great. This Coinstar's cool. I'm going to use this particular brand. So,
well, yeah, exactly. And they all charge the same percentage.
Exactly. Yeah. Or there or thereabouts, don't they?
This podcast has been brought to you by Rhubarb Media. Rhubarb Media are the branding specialists behind successful crypto projects such as PivX, Vendible, and Libertaria. The Rhubarb style is both loved and respected the world over. So if you want your project to appeal to techies and everyday users alike, give Rhubarb Media a try. You cannot possibly be disappointed. Link is in the description.
Yeah, well, because there's a little bit of a statement I'll read out here from CoinMe's co-founder. Bitcoin is now accessible at your local grocery store via Coinstar kiosks. This offering will make it even easier for consumers to participate in this dynamic new economy. Now, he doesn't give much away there, but the next bit here is quite interesting. Unfortunately, buying Bitcoin for cash remains a fairly expensive option, although the two companies do not go into detail on the subject. CoinMe's website reveals a 4% fee to use a new service compared to the average buying fee at Bitcoin ATMs in 2018. However, CoinMe's fee is certainly at the lower end of the spectrum. Now, CoinMe is the ATM operator that allows Bitcoin buying for cash at kiosks across the US already. So I guess what it's just saying is it's early days. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, which is good. I couldn't be happier. I think it's always about giving people the option, even if they do charge a fee. And some people think the fee is high. If you think the fee is too high, then quite simply you don't use it. As long as there's competition, fees will go to where the market feels they should be. And most of the time, that is the correct place for them. So yeah, I think it's great that they're making that move. And if I get the opportunity to convert my coins into Bitcoin, I 100% will.
Okay, right. Yeah, well, it's positive news and it's a start, isn't it? Right, our final topic is, I tell you what, it's quite strange, Cryptosi, because this was actually before Christmas, but it was only brought to my attention by my dad last week.
Yeah.
Now, he'd seen an article where someone had clicked on it on Facebook. It was a Facebook ad, right? He didn't tell me this at the time. He just said, read this article. I've saved this article for you. Now, this is all about a scam, by the way, for the listeners wondering where I'm going with this. Now, this article was about a show called This Morning. Now, if you're listening to this from Britain or Ireland, you'll know exactly what This Morning is. From around the world, This Morning is a very long-running television program that's been going in Britain and Ireland for, God, I think my whole lifetime, and I'm 35. So it's a reputable show. And it claims that a guest on the show called Jim Davidson, who's an entertainer, former TV presenter, I think he was a comedian as well. It basically describes himself as an entertainer. And this article says how Jim Davidson was bankrupt, but in the space of 6 months, he's got hundreds of millions of pounds, and it's all through cryptocurrency, and it's all through using this one app. Now, on this supposed app, it follows an algorithm where you put your money in, it invests the money for you, and the money, you make your money on your cryptocurrency, and he's made hundreds of millions of pounds through it. Now, I thought, this can't possibly be right. But this article is claiming to be a money expert, and it's got pictures of the presenters on This Morning. It actually might have been Good Morning Britain, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a well-known, popular morning TV program in the UK and Ireland. And it's even got them with their phones out saying, oh my God, look, I'm on it right now. And in the last 6 minutes, I've already made £500 or what have you. And it's got quotes from the presenters, very well-known presenters, Ben Shepherd, who works for Sky Sports as well. And I think Susanna Reid might have been the other one. And this money expert is explaining how he thought it was too good to be true. So he's had this app for 2 weeks and he's already made himself £6,000. And I was thinking, there's no way this can possibly be correct. So I did more research into it, and it was a complete scam. And the program in question actually had to say on one of their shows live, right, we're aware of this Facebook advert that's going around saying that we did this, we did that. The screenshots they're taking of us with our phones is from a completely different interview. It wasn't the interview with Jim Davidson. And Jim Davidson had to come out and say, well, it's definitely not true. And unfortunately, I am still bankrupt. But so many people have fallen for this. And Cryptosi, what I've realized in speaking to you is that this has been going on for ages and loads of people are doing the same thing.
This type of scam actually predates crypto. So there have been these things where people have pretended that other people are endorsing things for as long as the internet itself has been going. And I dare say, probably even before the internet, as soon as there was newspaper, as soon as there's a medium of communication, people will exploit it and pretend that they're other people. I feel like scams like this, criminals will utilize cryptocurrency because it's easier for them to then move around once they've got it from their victims. So it's easier for them to then move the crypto around once they've got it from their victims. Sometimes though, and I'm not sure what was the case in this one because I haven't looked into it, but there are too many to warrant looking into each of them. With this one, I'm not sure if they even accepted cryptocurrency or just accepted regular fiat, because often they will accept regular fiat and then just say to people, you're getting cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that's what it was. People were putting their pounds in, and yeah.
So there may well have never been, in fact, there was more than likely never any crypto involved at all. They were more than likely just saying, there is all this cryptocurrency, which people won't understand, probably, especially not people in the generation of our parents. They've got much less chance of understanding it. They'll say that there is, they'll give these people an app and just put some random numbers on it and people will fall for it. I really feel like these sorts of scams are something that Facebook and the other platforms which advertise them should be tackling. They should be doing some sort of due diligence to make sure that if something is being advertised, that it's genuine, because otherwise people will lose their money and then put blame in the wrong place. These sorts of scams need to be wiped out by Facebook. They've got the money to do it, and it's their platform that is actually peddling this crime. And in my opinion, it's definitely not the fault of cryptocurrency or even pounds or euros or any of the currency being used. It's the fault of the platforms that are allowing these fraudulent adverts to just be put up in exchange for a few dollars. I think it's just very lazy by them to allow these things to happen.
It's strange as well that someone like my dad, who's a businessman and clever man, actually thought it might be genuine. That's why he asked me to look into it. But when I read it, even I had to do more research because it actually did seem genuine, even though there was no way it possibly could be. So it is a problem because people are going to keep doing it because it's worked.
Yeah, and I feel that this is another reason why it's very important that the world moves towards open source. And by that, what I mean is, with open source, you get a lot more peer review. There are a lot more eyes actually looking at the product that is supposedly so powerful, supposedly so useful. So people are actually looking at it. This previous way of analyzing the value of something, which is just by taking someone else's word for it, that is just not efficient. It's just not a good way to do things, because at the end of the day, even if it wasn't a scam and Jim Davidson had decided that he was doing something and he had decided it was great, in my personal opinion, that's not a reason to invest in something. You need to have the ability to look at it yourself, and you need to have plenty of other people who you respect. They have to have the ability to look at it themselves and the ability to look at the actual product. If you haven't got that ability and you're just going off someone else's hearsay, then it's definitely not a good way to invest. It definitely isn't. And even if whether it was or it wasn't a scam, I feel that following celebrities down their paths or celebrity endorsed products, I feel sometimes they have a bit more value than they should have, purely because celebrities are endorsing them.
Yeah, well, it's a worrying thing, but that's it for ITK Crypto today. Thank you, Cryptosi. We've got Oleg from N Exchange, haven't we? We've got an interview coming up in a few days' time.
Yep. Next interview is with Oleg from N Exchange, and then following that, we have Sentinel. I believe will be our next podcast. Sentinel or Chocolate, one of the two. I think it's Sentinel though.
Yeah, we had Sentinel, didn't we? When we were Token TV, we've had them before. They were brilliant. We did say that we wanted an update from them, so it'll be great to hear.
No, not Sentinel. You're mistaking them with IOP. Sentinel we didn't have because they didn't have the voice software for anonymity that they wanted. So now they've actually got themselves a spokesperson, and the spokesperson speaks on their behalf. So that's who we'll be speaking to.
Oh, brilliant! Yes, that's why that's why I know about Centre. Right, that's one we really wanted to do. So that's great stuff.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, Cryptosi, we'll be back for this as well for our news roundup next week too. So loads coming up. Remember, you've got to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at SmartReach1. This show is brought to you by PivX, private instant verified transactions. With its groundbreaking zero coin staking and masternodes, PivX is the top privacy currency. Feel free to trade some on Binance or Bittrex. And for more information, go to www.pivex.org.